Tone, also showing his versatility. He does a little bit of TV these days. Good job filling in, my friend. You got rave reviews back here in Portland.
Well, I appreciate that. It was interesting. Don't get me wrong, it was interesting in a good way. Mike did an excellent job of making me feel comfortable. I'll tell you, it felt good, but I'll be happy to get Will back on the air so we can I can relax a little bit. I've actually had to work these last 3 days.
Jeez. I hate when that happens. Actually puts you to work. But a jack of all trades. It was fun to watch, and you're obviously very knowledgeable in what you're talking about, Michael, right?
Yep, Tone. I appreciate seeing you flex your muscles, man, show your versatility. Hey, Tone, let me ask you, man. I'm going to cut right to the chase. 3-point shooting. This team is good. This team shoots a high percentage. And on occasion shoots a lot. I think a couple games ago shot 32 of them, made 15 against Toronto. Can you talk a little bit about the variety of ways this team is taking and making threes?
A lot of it has to do, and I had this conversation the other day with somebody. I think it was in New Jersey. It was last night, as a matter of fact. I was talking to Donnie Marshall about it. When you have LaMarcus, and I think it all starts and stops with LaMarcus. He doesn't get the due he really deserves. He's so good in the post that you have to respect him, and he draws the defense down. He makes them hesitate a half second, and then you've got Dame, you've got Nick, you've got West, you've got Mo, you've got Darrell. Right, you got 4 or 5 guys on the roster that can all shoot threes. So started games, teams are a little bit hesitant. They don't know whether or not to go down and face LaMarcus with a double team. He burns them. Then all of a sudden they're going, and the other guys get going. I really think it has everything to do with the fact that LaMarcus has really established himself in the post.
Well, I'd like to ask what the vibe is with the team right now, but we can pretty much guess it. The match, you know what I mean? It's like the maturation process with this Trailblazer team right now, Tone, has happened a lot quicker, I think, than a lot of people. It's like, he's going to be 12 weeks tomorrow, my first son, and I watch how he grows every day. I'm watching this Blazers team, and it's like every day evolving into something newer and nicer, and it's been a pleasant sight to see, I think, for a little bit of everyone. But people back here want to know, is this real? People across the league want to know, is this real? When are we going to know if this team is real?
Yeah, that's a tough call. I think it might. I think you would agree with this. We haven't necessarily seen this team face tough competition yet, because San Antonio's the only team they've really had to beat. They lost to the Houston Rockets. They beat San Antonio. But I'll say this: the more you win, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more you win. It's one of those. It's that cycle that can sometimes go the other way. You lose confidence, you get a loss, and you lose more confidence. Right now, I'll say that this team is real because the record is real. We can talk about the fact that they haven't played a lot of great teams, but my reality is they don't make the schedule. They only play it, and what they've done with the schedule they've been given has been absolutely fantastic.
You know, Tone, watching this team play, I get the impression, and obviously you're around them a lot more than I am, but it looks like they solve problems collectively. I mean, when the game starts, there's always the game within the game. Either the other team is hot, or somebody on the Blazer team is not hot, or teams getting the ball to the paint, or fast break points. Regardless of what the situation is that emerges during the course of the game, this team appears to always address it collectively and not leave anybody on an island. Could you talk about this team's chemistry a little bit?
It's absolutely tremendous. They realize, just being around them, they all realize that they're different personalities individually, but they fit like a puzzle. You know, you look at Dame. Dame's a quiet assassin. LaMarcus is more that way as well. Nicholas Batum is a do-everything kind of guy. Mo Williams is high energy. Wesley Matthews is a gritty player. And then you've got not Thomas Robinson, but Robin Lopez, who to me, he's the glue guy. He's the reason this team is as successful as it is, because nobody wants to make him angry. I keep saying on the air, he's going to make somebody an offer they can't refuse, and when they refuse it, he's going to put a horse head in the bed. I think dude is a little bit crazy, but just the right kind of way.
Tone, you know what's funny about that? You say that, and, you know, on home games, I get a chance to be in the huddles and kind of look in body language and hear what's going on and watch Terry Stotts, you know, draw the X's and O's, and I enjoy it. I mean, I should have to pay money to do it. But Robin Lopez has a unique style during timeouts. He takes a knee next to Terry Stotts, and he looks over his shoulder while he's diagramming a play, and then he looks up at all the other players like, y'all getting this?
You see what I'm saying, Mike? That's exactly what I mean. He's making them an offer they can't refuse. I mean, he's looking at them like, I hope you all are paying attention to this, because if you're not, well, I'll see you after the game. I mean, I love the guy. He's unquestionably my second favorite player on the team in terms of just the quirkiness about his personality. I think my favorite guy is Myers Leonard. Myers Leonard is just great to be around because he's just a big kid. But you know, I look at Robin and what he brings to the table. He's been tremendous. Thomas Robinson coming in off the bench. He's young. He's energetic. And, you know, I really look at Thomas Robinson as being similar to what J.J. Hickson was last year, but in a proper role. You know, J.J. Hickson should have never been starting at center for the Blazers. You get Robin Lopez, J.J. Hickson comes in off the bench. Everybody is happy. That's what T-Rob has. And then you got Joel Freeland, the other part of that same big man equation.
You know, it's interesting. You brought up Myers Leonard's name, and I got to pounce on this a little bit because one of the things that was said to me when I became the head coach at the University of Portland by the late Clive Charles, he said, hey, coach the players that play and manage the ones that don't. So when you said Myers Leonard in the midst of all of this love that's flowing around about this team and chemistry, I wanted to just follow up and ask you, how's he doing? Because when you're a young guy on a team and you played and then you're not playing, sometimes a veteran will take you under his wing or people will kind of whisper in your ear, take you out to eat. I mean, how's it going for him this season?
Man, I'll tell you, I think Myers Leonard is too goofy to even realize anything bad or good is happening. And I say that in the most loving way. He's just a mild-mannered, easygoing kid. What's going to happen for him is he's going to have to get some meanness about him. He's going to have to get angry. And I've tried to allude to, and Michael Holton, I know you'll definitely get this reference. There's a scene in the movie Fridays when Ice Cube and Chris Tucker are sitting on the front porch, and Debo rolls up, and he, starts patting their pockets down, right? I told Myers Leonard, I said, hey, every time somebody takes your minutes, they're walking up to you and patting your pockets down, taking money out of your pockets. And you have to look at it that way. You got to get these people out of your pocket and start making your money because he's got all the physical skills. He can shoot it. He can jump. He can run. He still got to work on his rebounding, but he just doesn't have that testosterone, that I want to really hurt you mentality that he needs to have.
Tone, it's hard to be hungry when you're not broke.
Hey, Mike, we both raised boys. It is the hardest thing in the world to get them to recognize, man, you got to go out here and fight every minute. But it's Myers. I know it's going to come around sooner or later because he works hard. He puts in the time. So I got to believe that if you put in the time, you're going to have some success.
Yeah, same could be said for Will Barton and Victor Claver. Both those guys started a lot of games last year. They're going to be completely out of the rotation as well.
Hey, Adam, I don't mean to say anything negative here, but you realize that when Will and Victor Claver were starting, we lost 13 in a row, right?
Yes, I do remember that. No,
I just want to point that out.
Hey, Tone, it's two ways to learn, man. You either learn by playing or you learn by watching.
And as a coach, if your learning has anything to do with me losing 13 in a row, you're going to learn sitting on the bench.
Hey, I got to tell another quick John Wooden story, man.
Okay,
John
well, these are good. These are always good.
He said something to me that's unbelievable, right? I asked the late John Wooden when he was alive, was there any coach that he hated playing against? I mean, was there any coach that you just didn't like to play? He said, yeah, the one that had good players.
No true words spoken. I can understand that. But hey, well, you know, and one other thing, Adam, and again, I hate to correct you, man, but
what I do now?
You said something a second ago that you know, it was a slap in the face to me personally. You said the last time the Blazers got off to this hot a start was the 1990 season. It was 1999-2000.
Right, which was the last time we went to. Wasn't that the last time we went to the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, but I was on that team. You said 1990, man. I mean, you can't be slapping me in the face like that, Adam.
So, Tone, let me step in and separate you guys and throw you the lob. So, tell us how well your team started that year.
Yeah. We started 11-2 that year, and then made it to the Western Conference Finals. I'll tell you what, though, that team we had was different in that we had a lot of superstars, but nobody wanted to step up and be the man. Mm-hmm. This team doesn't have as many superstars, but the two guys that are superstars are willing to be superstars when we need them to be. Dame, LaMarcus, And somebody asked me why the team is being so successful. And Coach Holton, I think you would agree. You need 3 great players to be successful on any given night. The Blazers have 2 that they can count on every single night. Then you get Wes or Nick, sometimes Wes and Nick stepping up. And all of a sudden, it's a very difficult team to deal with because you got 4 bona fide options out there on offense.
We're just morphing Nick and Wesley together to become one.
Yeah.
And then on any given night, it can be either one of those guys.
You know what's interesting, Tone, and when you said it, something flashed in my head, because prior to Terry Stotts, Nate McMillan talked about two units a lot, which was kind of always interesting to me. But Terry Stotts has blended this team together where you got 7 or 8 guys that are playing together in various combinations. And let's not underestimate how difficult that is for the opposition because there may be a big lineup, there may be a small lineup, there may be a fast lineup, there may be an outside-in lineup or an inside-out lineup.
And it happens seamlessly. And it's almost like, is it just me, Coach? I'm glad you pointed that out because it happens so slowly over the course of the 6-minute mark of the first quarter to about the 6-minute mark of the second quarter, where it'll start with Mo Williams coming in for Dame, and then Dame will come back in for Nick, and then Nick will come back in for Robin, and now all of a sudden the lineup is small. Mm-hmm. And you don't even see it coming because there was no mass substitution. He's just slowly tweaked it until his team has an advantage. And you're absolutely right. That's been the difference. He's got enough weapons that you have to make a decision on where you're going to go. But when you make that decision, somebody else steps up. And every game this team wins, they get smarter and they get more adjusted to winning games. It's going to be difficult to slow them down.
Tone, as you say that, it kind of gives me goosebumps a little bit because in the pros, it's not easy to do what you just described Terry Stotts is doing and have every player okay with it. Guys tend to get territorial about their rotation, their minutes, their rhythm when they come in. But this team is just, regardless, they are collective. And that's what I was saying earlier. This team just seems very collective in their approach.
Hard to the words I keep using, hard to deal with. First of all, LaMarcus Aldridge has the nastiest baseline fadeaway jump shot I've seen since Rasheed Wallace. Mm-hmm. I watched him the other night hit Amir Johnson with it. So nasty, Amir Johnson just froze. He couldn't contest. He couldn't drop back. He just froze in his tracks and watched LaMarcus shoot it over his face. It's the nastiest shot right now. I think of all I can't think of the nastiest shot in the game right now, Mike. It's impossible to deal with, and it's making the other parts of the team so much better.
He's locked in, as are the rest of the Trailblazers. Blazers radio analyst and sometimes TV analyst, Antonio Harvey, joining us from Milwaukee. Tone, thanks for the time, man. Let's get greedy. Let's get 4-0, huh?
Let's do 4-0. Let's have not a big party, just a mild party. I'm thinking maybe a stogie with Coach Holton at his underground bunker. Get back.
At his palatial pad.
Don't let the word out.
Yeah, right. All right, Tone. Hey, go get him tomorrow, and we'll catch up with you Friday when the Blazers and Bulls tangle at the Moda Center.
All right, talk to you guys soon.
All right, thanks, Tone.